What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on ESPN with a 10-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting first overall. So make sure to tune in. It's almost that time, the start of the fantasy season. So great time to get in another mock draft. If you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at All Day Pigskin. Let us hear it in the comment section, your thoughts along with any other questions you guys might have. I'll do my best to answer them all. And lastly, make sure to get yourself a copy of the 2022 ADP Fantasy Football Draft Guide. Everything you can want at great value. All the details in the description, along with in-season advice. Check all of that out. But with that being said, let's get into it. We do have the first pick on the clock. We're not going to waste too much time. What we're actually going to do in this mock draft, we're going to go with the hero running back approach, where basically we're going to get one anchor running back here in the first round, and then we're going to hit the other positions and wait a little bit longer than, typical, I would say, for at least for what's typical for me, to add more running back depth. I want to see how that works out. I know a lot of people drafting first overall as of late have been doing this type of strategy. Now, of course, if there's some insane value, I'm going to address it, and we could potentially change course. But this is what I'm thinking right now. Let's see how it plays out. The first couple of picks are in. So the reason I went with Jonathan Taylor over Christian McCaffrey, since we're going to do the, kind of hero running back approach, I went with a little bit of a safer choice. And to me, that was Taylor. I've said that before. I think McCaffrey has the higher upside. Taylor is a little bit safer. So really both good choices for first overall. But in this specific scenario, we went with JT for those reasons. Then you saw McCaffrey, then Eckler, then Cooper Kupp. So interesting, Cooper Kupp still goes as the first wide receiver. That's kind of been shifting to Justin Jefferson as of late. Najee Harris, 5th overall. Okay, I would have gone with Kamara, Dalvin Cook ahead of him. Then you see Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry. I would have gone Alvin Kamara over Derrick Henry. I would have gone Dalvin Cook over Derrick Henry in full PPR. We see now Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, and DeAndre Swift. So there's still some really good value here on the board. Let's see. I'm crossing my fingers that somebody like a CeeDee Lamb falls to me, maybe a Keenan, a Travis Kelce. We'll see how this thing plays out. I'm kind of expecting guys like Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones to go here. One of those guys does, Aaron Jones. CeeDee Lamb was selected before him. So, the options are kind of getting a little bit thin. We'll see if we can, kind of execute this hero running back strategy, because I do think, like I said before, there goes Travis Kelce. I was really hoping we could get him, get him with like a Keenan Allen. I would have been pretty happy about that. But right now, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say Saquon Barkley was the best value here, in my opinion. Like, Saquon and Leonard Fournette would be a hell of a tandem and trio with Jonathan Taylor. And I'm really thinking about it and just doing a complete 180 on what we were, potentially thinking about doing here. Let's see how it works out. We could go Mark Andrews and then Keenan Allen. We're just going to take it, after this pick. We're going to make our decision on the fly, and we're going to go from there. So Deebo Samuel goes. Okay, interesting. So I do think the best combo here is probably Leonard Fournette and Saquon Barkley. I'm not going to lie to you. If we go the hero running back approach, it would probably be Mark Andrews and then Keenan Allen. So look, I said to begin with, we're going to go with the kind of hero running back approach. I'm going to stick by it. I'll go Mark Andrews. I think that was the easy pick. Now, whether it's Fournette or Keenan Allen or Saquon Barkley, let's go with Keenan Allen. And now in the 4th round, we're going to get some other running back help. See what that potentially looks like. But again, just because we're doing this hero running back approach, I do want to point out that otherwise, I would have gone with Leonard Fournette and Saquon Barkley. I just think that would have been an awesome trio to get at, at the most important position, and good values on all of them on top of that. But, I can't get too upset about getting Mark Andrews, like the number 2 tight end, maybe the number 1 tight end, depending on where you have him ranked. And then Keenan Allen, just as stable as you could want at the wide receiver position. So I like what we did. Could have been a little bit better, but we're going to see how this thing turns out. So after our Keenan Allen selection, you saw Leonard Fournette, Michael Pittman. Pittman's a guy that his value's been going up like crazy as of late. James Conner, Tyreek, Saquon at the 306, awesome value. Mike Evans, DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Chubb, Zeke, Akers. So the running backs are flying off the board. There goes Terry McLaurin. So right now, my ideal situation, probably, ETN falls to us, and then we can go with the best player available at wide receiver or something like that. If I had to guess, I would say that McLaurin probably gets, or not McLaurin, Travis Etienne gets drafted. There goes David Montgomery. So not too many options at running back being left over. We have 4 picks to go until it's our selection. If Etienne isn't there, which way do we go? So, probably right now the best value is somebody like let me look a little bit more closely. Kyle Pitts isn't a bad value. Jalen Waddle isn't a bad value. Marquise Brown, not a bad value. I'm shocked J.K. Dobbins went ahead of Travis Etienne. Wow, that's crazy to me, especially with, people assuming that J.K. Dobbins might not be ready for the start of the season. There goes Kyle Pitts. So we have 1 pick to wait. Are we going to get sniped? That is the question here. If we don't, I think we're going to go with probably Marquise Brown and Travis Etienne. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed that, we get our choice of both of those guys. And we actually do. Wow. Okay. That was a little bit stressful, but it pays off. So I'm going Travis Etienne. He's our number 2 running back paired with Jonathan Taylor. I think we got very, very lucky. So now let's go with a wide receiver. And I will go with Jalen Waddle. Yeah, let's go with either Jalen Waddle or Marquise Brown. I'm thinking what I want to do here. Actually, let's switch it up. I'll go with Marquise Brown. I was just contemplating. I was like, maybe we can go DeAndre Hopkins later on, but I'm just going with the highest upside guy right now. So I think that's a solid choice. And we've got, Taylor, Etienne, Keenan Allen, Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews. I think that's a solid core group. We could have gone with a quarterback, I guess, with somebody like Josh Allen just got selected. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar. But I wanted to get that wide receiver. Let's see, because I think this is right now the sweet spot, especially in these 10-team leagues where a lot of these wide receivers are going to go. But let's see, maybe I'm wrong, and that won't be the case. I think there's an outside chance that we can get one of these top 5 quarterbacks at the end of the 6th round. So that would be the top choice right now. I'm looking at what other potential ways we could go with this. Running back, I feel a lot better with now. We don't have to take a chance on a risky guy like a Jacobs or a Breece Hall or Elijah Mitchell, Miles Sanders. Honestly, at this point, the guy I'd be highest on out of all these guys is Rashad Penny, especially with the Kenneth Walker situation kind of, still being a question mark. So that's the guy that I would be looking at. Jalen Waddle still being available at the end of the 5th round. Very, very good value, even though, he's got an undisclosed injury. So that's something to monitor. So Patrick Mahomes goes, then Darren Waller. Is George Kittle still available? Wow. George Kittle is still available at the end of the 6th round. That's awesome value. Whoever gets him. We've already got Mark Andrews, so it doesn't really make sense to get George Kittle. I would have gone with Kittle first ahead of Waller just because right now Waller's dealing with his hamstring issue. Lamar Jackson went at the 603. I was hoping he could fall to us. That doesn't. Oh, there goes George Kittle at the 605. Okay. So no, we're not, kind of cursing ourselves for taking Mark Andrews that early. Like I said, it was a calculated effort. We were approaching this a set way. Kyler Murray just went at the 606. That's a little bit of a bummer. Elijah Mitchell then goes. So running backs, I told you guys, for me, would be Rashad Penny. Let's look at wide receivers, what we're still working with. A lot of good value still on the board. So, Bateman, Allen Robinson, Juju, all guys that we really, really like. And we do have kind of that, potential wide receiver or pretty safe wide receiver one, Keenan Allen, or he'll be right on the border of it. So Juju Smith-Schuster just went. Okay, that makes sense. Again, right now I'm looking at Allen Robinson. I'm looking at Rashad Bateman, just to name a few, potential choices here. Running back, we could also go early with the Rashad Penny pick. There goes Darnell Mooney. Quarterback, I'm just going to wait at this point. I'm not as big of a believer in Jalen Hurts as some other people are. So let's just continue to get wide receiver depth here with one of our picks. And then, you know what? I'm going to go with a guy that is ranked a little bit lower here, in my opinion. I'm going to go with a high upside guy here first in A.J. Dillon. He's one injury away to Aaron Jones from being a big-time asset, and that's what we're going to get here. We're going to take advantage of some discrepancies in these kind of ratings, and he was one of those guys. Rashad Penny was also on that list. Wide receiver, we could have gone again with Bateman. We could have gone with a lot of names here. Hunter Renfrow. I feel like I've talked about them a lot, so I wanted to shed some light on another group of players, especially at the running back position, since we waited a little bit longer to get depth there after going Jonathan Taylor first. But I like the way it's turning out right now with our next two picks. If I had my choice of how things would go, I don't think Rashad Bateman is going to be there, so I'm not even going to really contemplate that. Allen Lazard would be great. Rashad Penny would be great. Those would be my top two choices. And, if it's not something like that, then we can look at adding a quarterback finally. That becomes something that we need to do to kind of, finalize our roster. And tight end we're fine with. At this point in time, I'd be waiting a long while until I add a backup tight end. Not really on the, on the top of the list in terms of importance. So shockingly, Rashad Bateman is still there. We saw a little bit of kind of these mid-range guys go that I have questions about, Singletary, Miles Sanders, Amari Cooper, Cordero Patterson. I mean, these three guys here alone, Sanders, Cooper, and Cordero Patterson, are on my do not draft list. Sanders, he's got to contend with Jalen Hurts. He's hurt, and other running backs. Amari Cooper, no Deshaun for 11 weeks. Cordero Patterson, I think it's a situation where he's just not going to get the same usage that he did last year. So right now, we're going to make probably our final two selections. I don't want this episode to be, super, super long. But I like the way this thing turned out so far. I wish a little bit more of an upper echelon wide receiver had dropped to us. That would have been great. If somehow who am I thinking? A CeeDee Lamb fell to us. That would have been pretty exciting. But unfortunately, he went in the middle of the second round at the 205. If I'd got like CeeDee Lamb and Mark Andrews, I would have felt a little bit better about it. But all things considered, I think we are setting ourselves up for success here at the end of the day. So we've built depth. We've gotten good values. We have got the core of our roster. And I like the way this thing is turning out. I think this is definitely a squad that would compete. It's a team that I think right now, worst case scenario, you give it like a B grade. There goes Rashad Bateman, and by the way, almost made it back to us. That would have been crazy. So right now, my leaders in the clubhouse for this pick are Alan Lazard and then Rashad Penny. Quarterback, we can cue somebody up and kind of fill in the blank that way. I think at this point in time, a lot of these guys are, very, very close together, and guys that you can survive with. So we do get our wish. We are going to go here with, oh no, he actually got selected at the 807. Wow. I barely missed that. Rashad Penny and Rashad Bateman go off the board. Kareem Hunt, I guess, now becomes the top choice. But I'm going to go with Alan Lazard. So let's get him. And then we could go our choice of quarterback. But I'm just going to go with, again, I'm going to go with the depth at the position. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt, and then queue up a quarterback, whether it's, Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson. But either way, I like the way this thing turned out. We employed that, kind of hero running back strategy. If I hadn't, we would have had that trio of Taylor, Fournette, Barkley, and then we would have been filling out from there the rest of the position. So that would have been interesting. Maybe we can try that out sometime as well here in the next few days, just going 3 running backs right off the board at the top of the draft. But hey, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe. Again, give us a follow on Twitter at alldaypigskin to interact with us there. Let us hear in the comment section your thoughts along with any other questions you guys might have. And lastly, make sure to check out the 2022 ADP Fantasy Football Draft Guide, now available for purchase. All the details in the description. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.